Hello everybody, I'm 8-Bit Steve, and this is another 8-Bit episode of Steve's Quest. This is game number 157, Bayou Billy, or The Adventures of Bayou Billy. This game is very notorious, or at least it was in my local area. It's incredibly difficult, and I'm actually kind of shocked that I beat it because I never thought that I would as a kid. It's definitely one of those games that frustrated me a lot, as I'm sure most people did. I could beat Ghosts and Goblins as a kid, and I could not beat this game. Mostly because this game has a lot of little quirks that are not really intuitive. Ghosts and Goblins, while it's difficult, it has recognizable patterns, and it has enemy manipulation. So for me, that was easier to figure out. This game is not so much. However, I'm still here in Boston, and I did play this for about a day. I got some practice in, and then the following day I ended up beating it. So, the big problem with this game is that the enemies do way too much damage to you. So you start off with 7 hit points here, but I mean, just getting hit by an enemy takes usually 1 or 2, like there. See, I already took 2 life points away just by getting hit by that one rock. So it's tough to not get hit by enemies, especially when they attack you immediately as soon as you're in range of them. So I've already lost 3 life points here. It's all about managing your health and finding patterns for the enemies so that they don't damage you, so that you can get to the turkey legs. The turkeys will fill your health up. So up there was a little trick I figured out. You can get those guys in a little loop up there and take a lot less damage. Also, having weapons in this game is a huge thing. You need to have those. I do really poorly on this part with these alligators. I should have walked forward there. Now he's stuck. Now I have to walk forward and trigger the second alligator, or crocodile, or whatever it is. And now there's 2 of them, and you definitely don't want 2 of them lined up to each other, which is what happens here. Yeah, once they start both attacking, it's really hard to stop them. Now, when you do hit them, though, you do become invincible for a second, so that's pretty cool. But like I said, when they're both attacking, it's really difficult to hit them. I tried to find the turkey, could not find it. I only have 1 hit point here, so I could die. Usually when I die in the first stage, I just reset, because you're going to need your lives for later on, or at least most people will. I got very lucky there. The alligator actually knocked me into the turkey. So I killed one of them, so that double attacking is going to stop me. Alright. So, not too bad. I still have 4 hit points left, so that works out pretty well. I usually try to get that vest off that guy immediately and get it on, because it prevents you from getting shot by those bullets. I'm dodging them anyways, just for practice. But yeah, you want to get that immediately. And you should have a stick, so don't beat that guy with a stick when he has the vest on, because if you hit him with the stick when he has the vest on, he'll just break your stick. You can attack these guys with your kick from up here, and usually they won't be able to hit you depending on where you stand. It's a lot safer than going down into the water and trying to jump kick them. You can't actually kick in the water, you can only punch, and punch is your weakest attack. Right. The trick is to get those guns and kill these guys with the gun, because you do not have enough life to fight these guys naturally. Now, another strategy you'll see me employ is, if you get in really close to the enemy and you start jump kicking, you can kind of time it where you just keep jump kicking them and they can't attack you back. It's not something I can do every time, but it is a strategy that I employ sometimes. And you'll get better at it as you play this game more. But a lot of people just never play this game a lot because it's super frustrating to die on the first level. Alright, so that's Bayou Billy Stage 1. I did pretty well here. I got all my lives, and that's really what you want to have at the end of the stage. So this stage here really all comes down to 2 things. If you're using the zapper, this stage is easier. I'm using the controller here because I selected the lead. But really, what your goal here is to have as much life at the end of the stage as possible. Okay. So you're trying not to take any damage, and it's pretty easy to do that most of the time. There are a couple sections here where it's difficult to avoid some shots, but once you know where those are, you should be able to beat this without taking damage. Another thing to note here is that you have a bullet meter in the top. Right now it says 131 bullets. So you want to have as many bullets as possible at the end. You want to have at least 60 bullets to be able to kill the end boss. If you have more than that, then that's just bonus, which I try to pick up every bullet power up there is. So you can get several power-ups here. You can get a time boost, you can get a free life. There's a bunch of different things that you can get here. So this is kind of a freebie stage, really. Until you get to the boss, it's really not that hard. I got shot once, which really sucks. I got a free life. So that's going to come in handy for sure. Now, something to note about the bullets is if you tap the button, you can tap it 3 or 4 times before you lose one bullet. You can also hold the button on like a machine gun. If you do that, you lose bullets a lot faster. You have to be careful what you're doing when you're shooting. If you can tap, that's better because then you save bullets. So I picked up some life there. Now I'm at full life. Now I'm just trying to play defense because I have so many bullets. Okay, so this boss is a little bit random. You basically just want to stay on the helicopter the whole time. If the helicopter's off the screen, then attack the little guys, but you want to keep on that helicopter. You want to get him into the helicopter into the mode where it's moving left and right, like this, and then you can just keep pummeling it with bullets, and then it's supposed to lose life. Hopefully you can get it into that pattern quicker and you don't take as much damage, but if you have a couple hits on you, you might die there. And if you die, it just takes you back to right before the helicopter, and it gives you 100 bullets, so you probably will kill it. But something to note is that in this game, if you have a weapon and you don't die, you keep the weapon into the next stage. So right now I have a vest on and a club. I mean, I picked up another club anyway, so it doesn't matter that much on this stage, but it's going to matter a lot at the end of the stage. After this stage are the 2 most difficult stages, in my opinion, which are the driving stages. I have the hardest time with these stages, and luckily I'm able to keep 4 lives here, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't have been able to beat them, at least not consistently like I want to. Now, a strategy you can do with these alligators is to walk up and down when, after they attack you, so that way the second one doesn't hit you. Most of the alligators drop turkey legs. So I'm kind of stuck on a pickle here because I can't really go get that stick without taking damage, and I don't really want to take more damage. So I have to go get it. I don't think I actually got it. That's unfortunate. Alright, I got out of that with 6 hit points, which is pretty decent. I just have to not get hit by these rocks. Something with these guys is if you attack them far away with a stick, usually you can just keep hitting them like that. You'll get them into a little AI loop. Also, if you attack them from behind, that's usually more ideal. The stick is cool because you can be slightly below the enemies and still hit them, and then when they do a kick or something, it doesn't actually hit you, it goes above you. So a little sprite manipulation there. This part can be difficult. There's a lot of enemies here, they're all red, and the red ones are more aggressive. Again, I found a little pattern here where you can walk up and down and just keep swinging that stick, and you usually hit something every time you swing because there's just so many enemies. Trust me, this is not easy to do what I'm doing here. It took a lot of practice. And this guy's just a complete pain in the ass. So what I'm trying to do here is I hit him and then I walk up slightly or down slightly. And if you do that, he won't be able to throw you. Also, the stick does a ton of damage to him. Alright, we're moving on to the driving stages. Now this game does give you, I think, 4 or 5 continues, so it is a little bit forgiving, but you can just die so easy here. You really would like to have your vest and your stick going into stage 6, because there's going to be 2 driving stages in a row, which really makes this part obnoxious, because if it was just 1 driving stage, fine, but having 2 in a row and escalating difficulty is just, it's just not done on the NES, and it's weird. So there's a couple of things here. There's some poles on the side of the road, kind of like any racing game. When you go around corners, if you touch those poles, you die. You have some cars in front of you, and you have airplanes. So you have 2 attacks. You have shoot in front of you or grenade. You can only have one. If the grenade is on the screen, you cannot shoot your bullets. So that's important to note. Another thing with the bullets is you basically have 3 directions you can shoot your bullets. Straight in front of you, diagonally to the right, or diagonally to the left. So you have to make sure the cars are lined up correctly if you're going around the corner, otherwise you won't be able to shoot them. For example, if the car is directly in front of you and you're turning around the corner to the right and you shoot, you actually miss shooting the car because you're shooting diagonally to the right and the car is directly in front of you. You can't shoot directly in front of you while you're going around curves, so you have to kind of pre-shoot. It's really weird. You kind of basically have to memorize where all the cars are going to come from. Now another thing is, if you're holding forward, that was just poor execution on my part there. I should not have got hit by the ground. I knew it was coming. Anyways, if you hold forward, you're going 180 miles per hour, which is completely obnoxious. And if you push back, you'll just slow down really quickly and stop. And you can also just let go of up to slow down a little bit. So you can kind of gauge your speed, go a little bit slower. But this is timed, which is really crazy that it's timed, because you want to go slow. I mean, I guess they wanted you to not just go really, really slow through the level, but I think the time limit is a little too short, because it basically forces you to go fast most of the time, and that's when it's the most dangerous. Those little puddles just slow you down. They're no big deal. They don't kill you. Now, if you miss the planes like that, you can they shoot a bomb and they can kill you. Now what I'm doing around those corners is I just hit back and stop completely. You're able to readjust your car a little bit and get out of the way. Also, dodging cars is very risky because they can move left and right and hit you. They can also come back from behind you if you're going too slow and run into you. Alright, so I lost 2 lives there, which is not ideal, but I did get through it. Now we're going to go to the hard driving level. Alright, this one's so much harder than the first one for a couple reasons. The first reason is that you're basically constantly turning. The whole level you're turning. So you're just always drifting to the side of the stage, and I'm always constantly having to slow down and readjust myself, and it just takes a lot longer. Also, there are more enemies in this one, and you're curved all the time, so like that example there, I could not shoot that guy because of the position that I was in. So I'm basically screwed either way. If I adjust myself, slow down and adjust myself, I might hit the edge, and there's just so many things to worry about on these driving levels. Now I've watched, I actually watched the world record for this game, and I thought it would be faster, to be honest. I was really surprised at how slow the world record was. There's so much time to be saved in his attempts. I mean, he does a really, really great job. And, you know, it's pretty fast given his skill level. It just seemed like, I mean, there's probably 30 seconds or more, maybe even closer to a minute of time saved in this game. But the reality is that you have to play this a bunch, and I really just don't want to. The enemy movement is just, it's too random for me, given the difficulty of the game. And these driving stages just make it obnoxious. If these driving stages didn't exist, I might try it. but I just hate these stages because he's basically pressing forward the whole time on the driving stages and memorizing the whole level. I would have to play that for months to be able to do that correctly, and I just don't feel like it would be worth it. I mean, it might be. I think for me, you know, I want to have world records in games that are notable. You know, that's why people want world records, really. You know, it's the notoriety of having it. You know, so I have 2 world records in games that no one's ever heard of, but you know, I did that on purpose because they're games that I wanted to have a world record in. But at this point, I want to have world records in games that are people recognize. It's more marketable for me, and just, you know, it just makes me more famous, I guess. So Bayou Billy is definitely a game that could be really marketable for me to have, especially since it's really difficult. But we'll see. The guy who has it, his name is NES Cardinality, and he has quite a few records, and he's pretty decent at NES, so I'm sure he put a ton of time into it. I know he was streaming it for a while, but in any case, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Once I get back home and figure out what's going on, you know, I'll start looking at other NES world records. I'm still working on a 2-player world record with a friend of mine. I took my second death there. And as you can see, I am running eerily close on time. Only 4 seconds left. Anyways, when I think about having the world record for a Bayou Billy, that sounds really awesome, and it fills me up with a lot of joy to think I could have that. But I think it would just make me miserable. I have thought about doing Jekyll. That's a definite possibility. Alright, so there's a kind of a weird glitch on these guys. If you spawn these guys on the edge of the screen, I'm going to actually do it here in a minute. I'll just wait for it. But basically, these guys suck because they just run away from you. Their attack animation is really, really long. They're hard to hit. But I think I'm going to get it on this one here. So what you want to do is you want to walk kind of in a diamond pattern when they're on the edge of the screen, and eventually they just disappear off the screen. That's the only time that I get to execute it, though. You can do that on every single one of those enemies and get them all to disappear, which is way faster than killing them. I died way too much on this stage, to be honest. It's really not that bad of a stage if you take your time, especially if you're using that glitch to get the enemies to disappear. It's much easier, obviously. But most of the enemies aren't too bad. They have some pretty well-placed turkeys throughout the game. That guy has a visual cue when he's going to do that. He turns red. There's no telling what these guys are going to do. These guys are pretty easy as long as you can get the whips out of their hands. You definitely don't want any enemy to have a whip, because they can attack you from so far away. And it does a ton of damage to you. The whip is super powerful. You want to keep it as long as you can. It's very useful against these guys. Sure, most people have never even seen this level of Bayou Billy because they never got past the fighting levels, let alone the driving stages. And to be honest with you, I haven't seen this level much in my life either. This may even be when I first started playing this and I got to the stage. That may even have been the first time I ever actually made it to that stage in my life. That's how difficult this game is. There's just so many semi-random things that can happen to you that prevents you from getting far in this game. So with these guys here, you want to attack them and then pick up their whips, which I did not do. and I should be picking up those lifts. But I die anyway, so we're gonna have to replay this level because I'm gonna have to use a continue. Hopefully the second time around I do a little bit better, which I'm pretty sure that I do. And again, if you start this level with a weapon and a vest, it's not that bad because people can't whip you or stab you, so that's very useful. And you have a stick, so you can hit guys a lot easier than I'm hitting them here. But you have to get through both driving stages without dying, which is really difficult to do. But with any speedrun, it's just practice. It really is. I truly believe that most people could speedrun NES games and get world records, given proper time and the desire to do so. Sure, I do believe there's a skill involved to it. I don't think everyone could world record, but I think most people think it's really, really difficult, and it is a lot less difficult than people realize to do it. You just gotta want to do it. So I'm not doing really, really hot here. I'm almost dead already. I'm only on the third screen. But when I die in the stage, as long as I don't continue, it'll take me to a checkpoint, which is good. But I really shouldn't be dying more than once on this stage. Take 6 jump kicks to kill most enemies, which is another thing. The enemies just have way too many hit points in this game. And your punch and kick are basically useless. I mean, you don't even use them. Jump kick is the strongest attack, so it's pointless for you to even have other attacks. The great thing about the jump kick is that you can avoid attacks by jumping in the air, so it makes it a dual purpose. You're avoiding damage and damaging them at a higher rate. Now, something these guys always do is they always run for their whip when you knock them off, when you hit them. So you can kind of get them in a loop where they're backing up and backing up and backing up. Probably one of the easier enemies on the stage. I should check if there's a tool-assisted speedrun of this game, to be honest with you. I mean, the more I think about it, the more I want to world record this, but there's just so many things that I want to do, and there's just not enough time in my life to do those things, unfortunately. And, you know, you have other responsibilities and priorities. I'm almost dead here, and I'm probably gonna die. There it is. Now, if I die one more time, I'm gonna have to use a continue again, and I definitely don't want to do that. I'm gonna need my continues for later. So I need to get on my game here. I don't know, I'm not really sure what I was trying to do there. Alright, I only lost 4 life there. That's sarcasm, by the way. I believe a turkey is coming pretty soon here. So So this guy's not so bad if you have a whip. He walks really fast and gets really close to you. But you can basically beat this guy by walking up and down. You can do it with jump kicks, but it's a lot more risky because he's closer. I like to do it with the whip. Like that. Alright, I believe there's a tricky after this sequence. Hopefully I can get through it here. Oh, look at that, a tricky. Awesome. Okay, I think we're set now for the rest of the level. Alright, so he's wearing a vest, so I have to get his vest off before I can whip him. But I get him in the jump kick loop here, which is pretty awesome. I want to get that vest, but I accidentally forget that if I get the vest, I lose my whip. It's a pretty big problem. Alright, I have my whip back. And that's the end of the stage. So they give you a vest and a whip right at the end of the stage. And if you can make it through this gun stage without dying, you'll have that whip and vest in the following stage, which is a much easier level if you have those two things. I will not have those because I die. And it's mostly because of just a few unfortunate things that happen. It's not that I take damage, because there are some health refills here, but you'll see what happens with the health refills. And it takes me to death. The basic strategy for this game, if you just want to beat it easily, is to get to the end of the stage without dying. And when you get to the boss will basically kill you, and then you'll respawn right near him and go full life and kill him. There's a health refill on the left there that I missed. I just didn't see it. So there's one mistake. I mean, I saw it right at the end, but it was too late at that point. Moving on to the final section. When you have this bulletproof vest, you're basically invincible. It's temporary though. There was another health thing that I missed somewhere. I didn't actually see it. It was on the left-hand side. There were two. But we're just going to use the easy strat, which is have a life. I got really lucky that I gained a life by points there, so that I can beat this boss a little easier. Otherwise I would have had to continue. So the strategy in this boss is to kill the big guy first, then focus on the little guy, which you're going to see here. And you need 6 life bars to kill this boss. You can kill him with 5, but it's tricky. So now that you're shooting this guy, you can block his knife with your gun. moving on. Now this next level is pretty short, but again, if you have the whip and vest, it makes this so much easier. But I do not, so I'm gonna die quite a bit on this stage. This part here is just so obnoxious without a vest. All these guys have guns. They all shoot you from far away. They run backwards to get their weapon like the whip guys do. So it's just really tough to get them in a pattern that makes sense. I'm gonna make some huge pattern mistakes here. Yep. Now, if you can get a gun from one of them right away, that's usually the best strategy if you don't have a vest. You just want to go right for one of them, get that gun, and just run away. You don't even want to use it, really. It makes it so much easier if one of them can't shoot you. Hopefully one of them will die here pretty soon. I'm kicking the crap out of these guys. Okay, finally. Alright. That wasn't too bad. I only lost 2 life bars there. Now, the game is really insidious here. It gives you all these bullets, and then gives you a bunch of guys with vests here. So, really terrible. One of them has a whip. We don't want that guy hitting us. Alright, I got really lucky with those shots. Because if it hits the guy with the vest, it just bounces off of him. Alright. We are moving on. Like I said, this is a short stage. There's only 3 screens here. Once I kill this blue guy and his dogs, this level's over. This guy has a vest, so you can't shoot him right away. Now I can. Really risky here. Alright, I got him. I just gotta get this guy's dog. The whip will usually do it. Alright, we're moving on to the final section of the game. This is the last stage. Alright, there's 2 bosses here. There's this guy, and then 2 giant robot kind of guys. They look like a Bobo, actually. Alright. Sort of a weird thing with this game is, if you have the whip and vest when you go into the final boss, those guys have more hit points. So there's that. So I'm gonna let this guy kick them out of me, so that I don't have them. So that's easier for me to fight the boss. Now, a general strategy here is to go to the bottom, go to the center of the screen, then loop around this red guy. And if you do it right, you'll be able to kill this blue guy before the red guy catches up to you. I did not execute it very well there, unfortunately. And just get my butt kicked. And that's going to happen here for a little bit. I'm going to leave it on. Normally I would fast forward through this kind of thing, but I just want you to see how difficult this boss is. If you get those 2 guys standing next to each other, it's just impossible to hit them without a whip. See, I can't even go near them because as soon as I go near and hit one, the other one's going to grab me. So I'm trying to get them in a sort of a walking loop here that I can attack them, but... And you definitely don't want to be trading punches with them either because they do a lot more damage than you, which is what I'm doing here. Just punch trading. I don't think I'm looping high enough there. I need to go a lot higher when I loop. But I digress. Yeah, I'm not really sure if these are just really strong guys in armor or they're robots or what is with these guys. But you think you'd fight these guys before you fought the other guy, but Guess that's not the case. Alright, we continued here. So we're gonna have to fight this guy again. So for this time I do not have a vest, so he can actually shoot me, which is very annoying. And really not good for my health, honestly. Alright. That guy apparently has a turbo controller. He's a little too low, and there we go. Nope. Alright, I got him in the loop that I want here, but I've lost a lot of hit points. Hopefully I can finally get these guys to do what I want them to do. Nope, I waited too long that time. You want that red guy to, when he does a circle, to hit the wall there. If he hits the wall, he doesn't get back to you correctly. But I have a lot of continues and a lot of lives to try this out, so... Yep. It's funny too, because when you get this guy in the right pattern, he's like one of the easiest bosses that you could fight. But if you don't get him in that pattern, it's very, very hard. Probably one of the hardest that I've fought to date. I'm just trying anything here to get these guys to separate once I get them in that walking together loop. But to no avail. Alright, we're gonna try it one more time. At least I killed him. I only have 2 hit points left, but... yeah, that strategy did not work. Oh, it refills your life when you get to these guys. That's awesome. And I didn't notice that. How kind of it. Almost got it that time. Oh, I did get it. Okay. That guy's dead. So now that that guy's dead, I can just get this guy to jump kick loop. And he won't pick me up. And guys, we're getting close. Getting excited. There it is, guys. The Adventures of Bayou Billy finally beaten. Never thought I would be able to say that. Very glad to have this one under my belt. Thanks for watching and enjoy the ending.